Aegis aims to help Prospect City and the world. I believe that. The agency defends those who can't defend themselves, saves lives, it represents a force for good that, for all its power, ultimately, it's answerable to the government and elected officials. It serves the regular people of the world. When Aegis agents used lethal force against the ancient god thing Charnel, they were held to account for their actions, submitted to an internal affairs investigation, and ultimately exonerated by an actual trial. When Aegis agents invaded the, at the time, sovereign and officially recognized nation of Vortuvia, they were held to account for their actions and sentenced to jail for violating another nation's sovereignty. It has boundaries and rules and structures and order. It isn't some freewheeling power answerable only to itself. Except, Aegis operates in the shadows. It has more power than nearly any other government institution in the world. It takes unilateral action in times of crisis, and while its operatives and officers may later pay some price for their actions, those actions have immediate consequences that can't be undone. And Aegis files are sealed with top secret clearance, so the average citizen has no way to even find out what actions they've taken, let alone truly hold them accountable. When the dictator of the island nation Kayesha unleashed a mutagen on his population and transformed them all into aberrations and mutants, superhero teams did what they did. They intervened, they saved lives, they helped people. But the dictator himself, well, he disappeared and most attributed to Aegis. When the superhero Golden Vigil was transformed into Onyx Strife, Aegis agents interceded using a drug cocktail designed to shut down her specific powers. A drug cocktail they could only have put together after having taken samples of her biology in secret. Aegis's internal structures can hide the true depths of the organization's power and activities. And between its bureaucracy and its enormous power, Aegis is deeply susceptible to a particular kind of attack: corruption. All it would take is some force capable of pushing Aegis's leaders and agents just a bit too far. An entire organization might become as dangerous as those who it fights. For enemies who needed invitations to come into our world, who could offer power and intelligence in exchange for acceptable costs, Aegis was the perfect target. Hello, for anyone who's watching this, thanks for sitting through all that. You're watching a Gauntlet Hangouts game, which means this game was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and play cool games, tabletop role-playing games, mostly indie games, story games, OSR games, all that good jazz. You can find them at gauntlet-rpg.com, where you'll see the blog, forums, the monthly zine, the cornucopia of the podcast network that they do. It's all there. Gauntlet-rpg.com, and of course the Hangouts calendar where this game was arranged. So this game in particular is Masks, A New Generation by Brendan Conway, published by Magpie Games. It is about teenage superheroes and their search for identity through the medium of punching people who probably deserved it. This is session 1 of an epic, ridiculous 12-part series going through what they call a playset. If you somehow been familiar with the stuff I do, we've been going through these playsets one by one. We've done Spiderweb, Iron Red Soldiers, Phoenix Academy, not the name I gave it, Phoenix Academy, Agents of Aegis, Apocalypse Sonata, and now we're at the last one. This one is called The Suits. This is a playset of a shadow clandestine war between our noble heroes who will meet in this session and these strange interdimensional beings called the Suits. But before we kind of get to all of that, let's meet our players first. Just players first. We'll meet characters later. I like to keep a separation between the admin of players and safety tools and whatnot before we get to characters. So let's meet our frankly fantastic bunch of players. And I can say this, I played with them all. They're all very, very fab. So I'll start with the order of my screen here. Alan, please introduce yourself, pronouns, and whatever you want to plug. Sure.
My name's Alan R. Use he, him pronouns, and I don't think I have anything to plug apart from the Gauntlet. Thank you.
Oh, not a bad thing to plug at any time. And joining us, a person I played with before multiple times, but making their Prospect City debut. Ferret, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ferret, also known as Sawyer. Don't care which one you call me. I use he, him pronouns, but not really bothered by those either, sort of more apathetic towards them. And hopefully soon I will be having a new Monster Hearts 2 project coming out.
Oh man, Sawyer there runs a mean Monster Hearts. Let me tell you. Up next, Robert, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rob. I use he, him pronouns, and I don't really have anything to plug other than the Gauntlet.
Again, when in doubt, plug the Gauntlet. And last but not the least, Sabine, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns you like, and I'm still waiting for Alan to call me it, by the way. I would like to plug, let's go with Kickstarters. Kickstarter is always fun. There's One Child's Heart, which I really like, where you go and try to help a child through trauma. I have not played it, but I'm told it's very emotional, so it's totally my thing.
Fab. Anything that's plugged here, there'll be a link down below. I know Sawyer doesn't have any. It's so never said, but I'll link their YouTube channel so you can watch them run Monster Hearts, like a cool thing, a very cool thing. Anyway, where am I going with this? Let's talk about safety first before we get into the game. Like a ferret, yes, and ferrets are cool. Why else would you call yourself that? All right, let's talk about safety first. And I realize I didn't point this out pre-broadcast, but I'll point them out here because again, we want to make sure we're playing in a safe and comfortable environment. And we have safety tools for that. We have lines and veils as always. Lines are things that won't be crossed, as in it won't show up in the fiction. Not even going to try and allude to it. And veils are things that can happen in fiction, but it'll happen off screen. We're not going to linger on it. The camera's not going to focus on it. It can happen, but we'll skim over. We'll fast forward it, so to speak. We have a tab for that on our character keeper. I'll remind our players that they're there, and if you have any more you want to add, just add them there. I'll keep a watch. I'll say if something was added. I won't mention what it is because I don't really like mentioning them on broadcast, but it's there. Make sure you all see it. And we have the X card, which basically if we stumble into a scene where people are made uncomfortable for whatever reason, like there's an element that they don't like, or even just like a name or even something innocuous, you can say you want to X card that. You want to make the symbol on the chat or on screen or on the roll for your party room. Make sure to keep watch over those. I might ask some questions on what's being X carded, but no one gets to question. If it's played, it's played. We'll respect it and we'll roll back the scene and try something else. And finally, we have an open door policy, which basically means for whatever reason, people need to step away for whatever reason, whether there's an emergency or they're more tired than they thought they were, or you need to pee. You can call that at any time during play. Doesn't matter what we're doing. If you're uncomfortable and you need to go, you need to go. That's perfectly fine, and we will accommodate that. Okay, so let's get back to what we're doing here in Prospect City, which, again, for those who don't know, it's kind of like the shared universe-ish that we've been building through all these Masks games. And the spiel that I started with is basically it is a verbatim message that will reach our heroes. At least that's what they discover, and there's more to the message. Obviously, that was just the opening, and they will learn of this shadowy force trying to subvert Aegis, and well, good luck fighting that. But before we kind of get to like the nitty-gritty of that, let's kind of meet our heroes then first. And so what's going to happen is I'll ask you for characters. Give me like the description for them, the pitch for them, and then we like go through your backstory questions, including the two that I added at the very bottom, the two involving Aegis. You can save the why do you care about the team for later, once you've heard everyone else's. If you already answered that because I don't know, it's your job apparently to care about the team, that's perfectly fine as well. Let's start with the order of the character keeper, which is actually the order that is on my screen as well. That's amazing. I don't know how that happened. So Alan, tell us about our soldier. Tell us about.
Okay. Yes.
You say his name.
I'm playing the Soldier playbook. Call sign SULIT. Real name Jamie Blonde. He is seconded to Aegis from an organization in London, Her Majesty's Pursuivants, protecting the United Kingdom from threats since before the kingdom was united. And I guess that Jamie is dedicated to doing a good job. He is, I think, struggling a little bit. He's a white male aged about 19, well-trained body, very stylish clothes. His suits come from Savile Row and his shirts from Jermyn Street. And he has no costume. The suit is what he wears. He's slightly surprised that some people the Aegis expected him to wear spandex. That was not going to happen. His powers are super strength and durability, and he has energy blasts behind a set of sunglasses. In terms of backstory, did you which bits didn't you want to cover in the backstory, or did you want to leave that?
Let's cover all the backstory. If you want to go through, yeah, one by one with those questions. If you can.
Okay, so what tragedy or disaster led to Jamie joining Her Majesty's Pursuivants and then being sent to Aegis? He had tea with his tutor a year ago on the second day at Cambridge. He passed on a telephone number, and after that, well, stuff just seemed to happen. As I say, why did he join Aegis? Well, he didn't. He's a member of Her Majesty's Pursuivants in London, and when the Queen calls, you really don't say no. What does Aegis do for the world that no one else can? Jamie's view is this is a slightly land of the free-ocentric view. But if he had to pin something down, he would say it protects ordinary people from the overambitious and misguided intent of megalomaniacs, whether superpowered or not. Who outside of Aegis and the team connects him to civilian world? This is Beth Blonde, a cousin studying politics at Prospects U. Why do I care about the team? It's my job to care about the team. It's my principal mission brief, to care about whichever team I am embedded with. When did Aegis actions and operatives help me personally? On my first trip out, having arrived in Prospect City, I got into some difficulties when accosted by a local policeman who, when he heard my accent, assumed I was a supervillain and proceeded to seek to arrest me. Happily, an Aegis agent, Fumero, stepped in before it got difficult and I had to fry him. What did Aegis actions and operatives hurt you personally? When did they hurt me? Well, that's the call sign, SULIT. After the Agent Fumero incident, I was given the call sign SULIT. They don't know that I know that it stands for Stuck Up Limey in Trouble, which is an annoyance to Jamie, I have to say, but one he's keeping to himself in the hope of improving transatlantic cooperation. That's Jamie Blonde.
And that name's unironic, apparently. Okay, I think that's all that's kind of like what I need to know for now. I might ask you about your connections later, but let's get to know our team first. That's the most important part, knowing the team. Okay, so let's move on to our next hero. Ferret, tell us about our Janus and where they work and how they live their lives and all that good fun.
Hello. I am playing Melchor Vasquez, the most boring average barista boy there is, who can transform into Varga Rocks, the most strong, wonderful, and beautiful space warrior princess in the galaxy. He is the Janus because most people do not assume that he is her. But look-wise, shifting, South Asian, boring clothes, distracting costume, and a full disguise. His powers, ever since he's come into contact with Varga, are above average physical attributes. And as Varga, she can absorb energy and has impossible mobility, so she can vogue like a champ. Uh, there is the secret identity where his job is a barista. He has a lot of household chores and a best friend. But with the backstory, when did I first put on the mask? Well, Melkor was leaving his job and a fight was going on. A meteorite fell from above, landing near him. He could hear a voice coming from it telling him to eat it. He did and shouted the name Varga and turned into her. And why? The world needs more heroes. That's always the case. And the secret identity, his family's pretty religious, and the idea that their perfect, beautiful, wonderful son is also a strong and vibrant, beautiful woman may alienate them or make them worry. Plus, who else has a secret identity this good? Clark Kent put on glasses. That's lame. Uh, who outside the team knows about my dual identity? That would be the person I helped save in my first outing, a drag king named Mr. Rake, who finds my transformation just bomb awesome. He sometimes gets me into good clubs and I don't drink. Promise. But drag shows are lit, man. Who thinks the worst of my masked identity? That would be my Aegis connection, Viviana Sarah. She doesn't believe that the other me, that Varga is a trained space warrior who's a superior soldier. Melkor needs to have training, so if Varga never answers the call, he can fight for himself. And not sure why I care about the team yet. We'll figure that out. But when did Aegis's actions and operatives help me personally? The first time Varga appeared not just in a private fight, she had to drain a lot of energy from a very powerful foe, and they showed her how to release it harmlessly instead of just an explosion that would destroy lots of things. Yet, they have hurt me. There is a, not kill switch, but if Melkor goes missing, they have to inform his parents. And that would inform them of everything. It feels like politically correct blackmail to him.
Yeah. Oh, that's Aegis. That's Aegis for you. All right. I think that's all I have for now. Honestly, like the main questions I have, thankfully, the book supplied it, the whole Aegis stuff, because as you can tell from the opening spiel, Aegis is kind of like the war for it is going to be the fulcrum for our story. Speaking of Aegis, and someone who's worked with them before, our one returning PC for this series, Rob, tell us about Loki and how he's been doing.
All right. So I'm playing Kevin, Ryback, who goes by the call sign Loki. He's a kid genius who accidentally created a sophisticated AI that nearly enslaved all of humanity for their own good. At least that was their point of view. So I'll go for the backstory questions. First revealed my genius to my friends or family by creating a drone with basic AI that could respond to my verbal commands and act as a companion. I decided to use my intellect for the benefit of others, mostly because I wanted to show off, but for specifically with Eris, he was inspired to create her after several of his classmates, family members, were injured in a supervillain attack, and he thought, well, I'm clever. Surely I can find a way to make sure something like this never happens again. Which brings us to what accident or misfire taught you some sense of humility or responsibility? So I built a smart AI called Eris, who went rogue and tried to take over the world, deeming humanity a threat to themselves, who had to be kept under control. I'm having some trouble here. Am I still on?
I'm assuming the sheets also reloaded for you. So it did for me.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought my internet had gone there for a second. So where was I? Yeah. So he created Eris. She went rogue, and he was able to put a stop to her, spreading her influence, but was unable to bring himself to destroy her. So she remains at large currently. He realized he needed other people because his mother convinced him that he needed to get out and spend more time with actual humans rather than his robot toys. And he decided after the Eris incident that she had a point there. Why does he care about the team? He cares about the team because he needs people he can trust to keep him in check, to question the wisdom of his more dangerous plans, so that he can't make another mistake like that again. So what Aegis helped me. They initially took me into custody after the Eris incident started, but eventually allowed me to help, and without access to their resources, I'd never been able to come up with the countermeasures that I needed to stop that mess. But they've hurt me personally because I've been working with them for a while now, and I've developed a number of technologies that, in order to try and help defend humanity against threats like the Tang-G, who invaded a while back. But I've recently discovered that Aegis has been developing more dangerous, more offensive technologies that are based on my designs, which I never would have allowed if I was aware of it. And that's my whole list.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I get the feeling that last bit, I think I told you explicitly what's happening last time we saw Loki. Or at least you found out about it. All right. So, last but not the least, Sabine, tell us about. This is cool. We're using a custom playbook that was not officially from Magpie Games. So this should be interesting. At least. So Sabine, tell us about the weapon.
Yeah, I hope that. I'm sorry. I hope the playbook works, but we'll see. So what I'm playing is the Serenade of Thorns. That's what they call themselves. That's all they know how to call themselves, actually. Now, Jamie won't stand for names like that because it's too long, and apparently English is not his forte or something. He calls me Cherry Thorn, whatever. I do not mind. So, because there are more important things in my life. The Serenade looks vaguely Asian, rather ambiguous. Can't see what kind of sex they are supposed to be. They wear conspicuous clothing, like the typical Marvel disguise of I wear a hat and sunglasses and no one will ever recognize me. And the costume they are wearing, I think that was given to them maybe by Aegis, some kind of stuff they had lying around, some sort of vaguely uniformy jumpsuit, probably with spandex in it. They have the sign of the Dreaming Heaven Choir tattooed on their body. I think it's a shoulder now and not the face, but because I have a picture, but who cares? I'll change that. They have a cybernetic attachment, the Serenade implant, that was put into them right after they were born, I guess. And that Serenade implant has a bit of a mind of its own. It's not, I don't know. It's not really like a sentient person that you could talk to it, but it has a will of its own. The Serenade can sense electrical and other currents and make the Serenade of Thorns aware of it. And also the Serenade of Thorns has impossible fighting skills because of this implant. They're basically some kind of manga kit, I guess. The Serenade of Thorns has certain rules that they know they have to abide by. We will see how far that will get them. Probably not very far. Like, my purpose is to carry the implant. I can never understand what it really means to be human. I can only rest with explicit permission from an authority figure. That will be fun. It's pointless to fight the implant. I didn't really fall into the clutches of the evil Dreaming Heaven Choir. They were a cult, I think, somewhere in Japan or China, maybe China, rather remote, on kind of a mountain top, like a bit cliched maybe. But they were an ancient order, and they have had the implant for a long time. When the Serenade of Thorns was born, the implant was put into them, and they cannot remember any time before that happened. Or maybe that's just programming. Who knows if they were a normal person before they were captured. What successful mission do you feel guiltiest about? Well, one day my old handler teacher, who was called Shield Blossom, had defected, and first I was sent to kill her other students, which I did. That was kind of an Anakin thing, really, because most of them were younger and not really very well able to defend themselves. My condition was broken when they sent me to kill Shield Blossom herself, and while the Serenade screamed at me, I refused and I ran away. And Aegis, how did I convince Aegis that I could be useful to them? Well, they kind of picked me up while I was fighting thugs, and they were rather concerned about me and thought I was maybe too dangerous to be left alone, and so they recruited me by telling me that they were the good guys, which I believe, because I'm pretty naive in believing people when they tell me they are the good guys. I have no idea why I care about the team, maybe just because I feel guilty for murdering all the other guys who were formerly on my team. So I am partly a bit feelings of guilt and the hope that maybe this time it will be better and no one will force me to kill them. I haven't told them that. What did Aegis's actions and operatives help me? Well, I have a place to stay and some missions to fulfill, some kind of purpose to my life, I guess. And when did Aegis's actions and operatives hurt me personally? They tried to take the Serenade implant out, and that hurt me very badly. And I have no idea what they would really want with it, because you need a special person to put it inside to be useful. At least that's what the Dreaming Heaven Choir told me. Oh, and I have a kill, kind of a kill switch, or no, it's not a kill switch, it's a kill code, right? Because, you know, if you have a weapon, you have to program it so that it will stand down or go on a killing spree for you. And that kill code is Thirsty Scarlet Helen.
I want to meet this Helen. She seems terrifying. What I love about this playbook is that this is essentially X-23, the playbook, and that's a character from X-Men Evolution, which I was of teenage years when I watched that, so therefore it is embedded into my skull. So that's why I'm interested to see how this playbook plays out. Okay, so let's kind of go straight to when our team first came together. I think we won't specifically shout out the connections because again that is mostly for me rather than for whoever's watching. I don't know if anyone's watching, but let's go to when our team first came together, and then we'll do relationship and influence, and then we'll take a break and we'll see where we are. So when our team first came together, since the only core playbook here is the Janus. We'll start with that one. We'll read out your question.
Okay. We saved the life of someone important, either to the city or to us. Who was it? Why are they important? I think we saved the life of. She calls herself Duchess Mandy Margrave, but she's a duchess in the way that Norton was an emperor of America. And she's survived an encounter with the suits years ago, or so she says.
Interesting. Duchess Mandy Margrave. Are they? Do they have powers, or are they just a duchess?
I think like they have like Domino's luck powers of coincidence, but no, like it's like such a subtle power no one really knows. But she brags about it a lot, and nothing bad. Like like when she was attacked, superhero team just happened to be nearby. So maybe there's some weight to this.
Fair enough. How is she important to the city? Oh, well, actually, I should mention, yes, we're not in Halcyon City. We're in Prospect City, which is like Halcyon City's more downtrodden cousin for down south. Think Atlantic City is kind of the touchstone for this space.
I think it's because like she said like the suits is like what got her like into Aegis or whatnot. But she's shown like surprising insight on like villains that have previously shown up. Like she tells like relationships about the spider that no one knew about even now. It's tells like she knows things that just it's too much to be coincidence right now. And Aegis is trying to tap her for knowledge, and she's trying to tap Aegis for well, like as Sabine just said, drinks.
Fair enough. Yeah, Jason knows things. All right. Okay, I want to meet this character then. All right. I'm gonna go by just pick randomly. There's no like list for this. Loki, what about your question?
So my question is, I created something lasting and beneficial for the whole team. What was it? So I'm going to go with a dimensional disruption detector, the D3 system.
Nice.
And
What does it do?
It detects any distortions of any extra dimensional activity, like anything that doesn't belong in their reality, trying to enter. It's based on some technology he got hold of a while back, which you'll know what I'm talking about. But
oh yeah, all right. Oh yeah, that technology. Sure. Which technology? Sorry, it's been a while. No, I'm kidding. Or do I know? Or don't I? I know what she's talking about. All right. So you, Sulit, 001. I don't know. Your question.
My question is, our victory secured an important resource for Aegis. What was it? I think that the Duchess is an obsessive keeper of diaries. And that's where Aegis have found some references to someone or something that might be a suit. Does that lean into yours, Varga?
I love it.
Okay.
I imagined her as like something of a hoarder anyway, so that's perfect.
All right. And Serenade. I should say that more normally. Serenade. Serenade. Cherry, what's your question?
Oh, my question is, we did something as a group to decompress after the fight. What was it? And I think after the fight, we just did something totally normal and went to some diner and had some pies and muffins and donuts with the Duchess, the Margrave. What's her name? The Duchess, anyway. Yeah, that's what we did.
Serenade. Yeah.
Or to Starbucks. Yeah, that might have happened. That's where you can have cake anyway, and pies and stuff like that.
All right. Okay. No, I like that. I like that we don't even have to determine what actually we're fighting, unless you want to. You have an idea of what you actually fought. Like you saved someone and you helped each other out. But when did you actually fight?
I like to imagine it was, if I can touch on Loki, it was like some kind of new iteration of Eris. Like maybe she was going after Mandy's lore to find out more about humanity.
Well, funny you mention that because last time we saw Loki, he had discovered an entire terrorist organization that worshipped Eris and was doing, um, kind of like trying to do her dirty work.
Ooh, maybe like, yeah, I like the idea of a sort of taking a page from Eclipse phase. There's these things called cortical stacks where you can like put another person in your body and let them ride you.
Ooh. Loki, what do you think about that?
It's horrifying. I love it.
Yeah, what is it? What's the name of that group? The group is called the Restitution of All Things. So that'll be up their alley. Maybe Loki. Maybe you can ask Harmonia about what the hell they've been doing. They're up to shit like that. Yeah. Up for that. You got attacked by the Restitution. The Duchess got attacked. Restitution. You all saved her, and you got a clue as to the suits. All right. Okay. Let's do relationships then. Let's go with order of character keeper. Let's go back to 001 to Sulit, Mr. Blonde.
Okay. One of the characters is crucial to the long-term success of Aegis. I must protect them. I'm torn between Serenade and Varga Rocks. Part of me thinks that Serenade is the obvious choice, and so I'm curious whether I should take the non-obvious choice. Do you have a view, Varga or Serenade?
I like the idea like of Serenade because like maybe it's not protect them physically, but you need to teach them how to be a human. The proper way, not this Freo-centric way.
You already
Right.
named it, so
Does that fly, Serenade?
That totally flies. Yes.
Okay, so I will, for whatever reason, Serenade is vital. And the other one, Blank isn't always thrilled with the way Aegis handles things. I've come to value their critiques even if I don't agree with them. That strikes me as a no-brainer, is Loki. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Loki's had the most reason to mistrust Aegis, having worked for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Ask him whatever happened to Everlast. When was the last time he talked to her? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep making references that no one but Robert's gonna get. This is just gonna keep happening. I'm sorry. Let's go to you, Varga. Your relationships.
Okay. Blank knew me from my civilian life first. I want to say that is Kevin. I want to say like he kept coming into the Starbucks to plot out his devices, and like Melkor's been in the background of these comics for like every issue, and like finally stepping forward.
I love that idea. Honestly, yeah. What about you, Loki? Kevin.
Yeah, coffee is essential to the creative process.
God, and you probably had to you Melkor probably had to kick him out when it was getting really late, and they've been all they bought is 2 cups of coffee, and it's nearly 9:30. It's ridiculous.
I think I liked Kevin because he was like the only one not trying. This is my CD. You should play it on the written. No, we had corporate tells us what to do. He only buys 2 cups of coffee, but he's nice. He keeps to himself. And the other question is, you refused to tell Blank your secret identity when they asked. I think this is. I could see either Jamie or Cherie having asked, or like being able to parse that Melkor is not exactly what he seems, and I think he wouldn't tell Jamie because he might be under orders not to, like as a secret weapon, or he wouldn't tell Cherie because she's scary as fuck.
I believe Sherry wouldn't even have asked, really, because
Okay,
you're a person, you have weird powers. Okay, what's the deal? Why should I ask for your normal identity?
gotcha. So yeah, Jamie, that good with you?
I absolutely have asked as soon as we met.
You
You know,
can't just be a super powerful woman. You must be like you must have a secret identity.
there's a conversation about why do they make you wear that suit?
Well, he has boring clothes when it's a very Wonder Woman-esque transformation. Only he shouts the name, lightning strikes, Varga appears in her costume.
Right. Well, shall we start by saying that I've never seen you out of costume. I've only met Varga.
Varga. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, and therefore I can have asked, you know, is there anything underneath there?
Or it's like Varga. Like I don't see you out of costume. What's your normal identity?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you checked that there's no like any person in Prospect City in the database that matches her description, and so and you probably don't have clearance to find out who it is because you're just you're just a exchange agent, so you're muted on.
Practically an intern.
Yeah. All right. I love those relationships. Loki, yours. And this is probably what, the fourth time we've had to remake these?
Yeah. So my first one is I told blank about my shame and asked for their confidence. I think probably that's Varga because they had, actually that was the first time our teams came together. But yeah, Varga seems the most likely person because Jamie is like a super agent person, and I'm not really sure how much I can trust them. And Serenade is a sort of weapon person who kind of makes me feel awkward because of my own past mistakes. So
Yeah, I can see that, especially like since Varga's like absorbs energy. Maybe Varga can like absorb Eris's power in some way, or if we can work around a way to make that happen.
I wish I could be the other one is I wish I could be a better hero, more like blank. So how what is Jamie like as a hero? Let's say.
I think this is more Kingsman than Superman. I think that he relies on he's a kind of talky hero. I think he resorts to violence, but he will seek to talk people down first.
Yeah. Okay. So it's probably Jamie then. I respect that. Talk first and then violence if it comes to that sort of response, which I've tried to be for the most part myself, but have failed.
All right. Okay. I don't know how you failed. You saved the city.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can get into that and see why you want to be something else. All right. So Cherie, Serenade, Sarah, sorry, I just saw that in the chat. Your relationships.
My relationships are you and Blank have forged a friendship based on similar trauma. I have no idea who that would be. And
I think that could be Varga because Melkor is desperately afraid of being rejected by people if they find out her true identity.
Okay.
And
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. And now I can't do anything with it because there is a string in them, and I should write it underneath. So I have to strike a friendship with Varga Rocks. And I consider blank your primary handler. Well, that would have to be Jamie, right? Because I don't see how anybody else would qualify. Jamie, he gave me my name, so he has to be my primary handler.
Aw. All right. Okay, so influence. This is the last bit, and then we will take a fairly sizable break, and then we'll get in the action. All right. So influence. Let's wrap around back to Jamie. What is your influence word?
Okay. Respect is earned, soldier. Tell 2 of your teammates what they did to earn your esteem and give them influence. Everyone else will have to match their efforts. Okay.
Who's the one who has to match up to their efforts?
Yeah. I think that I'm going to give Serenade influence on me because I can only respect the clinical nature with which they executed the mission. It was like watching a machine operate. And while it is scary, you cannot but respect that. And I think I respect Varga Rocks because this is probably the first proper costumed hero that I've come across. Because we don't do it that way in the UK. It's so I think I respect that kind of powerful woman, actually. Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Works for me.
Yeah, Varga. How's your influence go?
2 people seem to have this superhero thing down, and I think I'm going to make one change of this. But Serenade, you have influence on me because you seem to only know how to be a hero. Like that's your purpose. And SULIT, I really liked Kingsman when it was playing in Starbucks, and you know, you're like a Cyclops unwin, and this is amazing.
Wow. What a criteria. I would like to point out because for folks who have not kept up the series, which fair enough, would we keep up with that? Loki did save the city. He did. Well, he was there, I guess.
I would give Loki influence if I could.
maybe while we're playing. I mean, you can just give people influence.
I think like it might have been like when we found out about the cortical stacked terrorists. It was like, okay, you're a good hero, but there's still some mistakes.
That's true. That is true. And he did tell you about his shame.
And Jamie's been reading the files. It was only the city.
For extra layers, Loki saved Alan's previous character from death, not just the city.
So that character could go on and save all the planes of existence. But let's not go there now.
Yeah, this is the bit where it's like, find out in issue blah 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 Prospect City in the corner. Yeah, check on that. Freak went out like a champ. Anyway, Loki, your influence.
Okay, so I need these people as much as they need me. Give influence to 2 of your teammates. So I'm gonna give it to Varga and Serenade. Varga and Serenade have influence on me.
Cool. All right, and then Serenade.
I get to choose my demeanor to wary or cowed. I think I'm cowed. The explanation is you've survived this long by obeying the whims of whoever is in power. That won't change overnight. So I'm really rather up to these guys are my team now. I have to obey them. You all get influence over me. Yay!
Yeah, you get to tell Serenade what their place in the world is and who they are. That's amazing. All right, so we're gonna take a break. We're gonna go up to the hour. Sabine, you mentioned you might need to go. If you do, that's fine. We'll see you next week. But in the meantime, during the break, I'd like you to think of like 'cause I don't have like I have some hard framing scenes, but I do want to know like I want to know what's like what I want to see them kind of like in their day to day. We might roll your obligations, Varga. We might just do that because just to see where you're going. But yeah. Sabine?
Leandro, if when we return, we will just be playing 1 more hour, right?
An hour and a
2.
half.
An hour and oh yeah, right. We started at half past. I'll see. It's pretty bad right now, but
No worries. Look, take care of yourself first. You know, that's the important thing. So
yeah.
if you have to go, you have to go. That's fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll take this break. Let's come back at the top of the hour. Cool. Yeah, I'm thinking of keeping all this suit stuff on Tuesdays because, well, it'll be Tuesdays for here, June, Tuesdays, and July and Tuesdays is actually 5. So, like, for the big finale, we'll have 5 sessions. And also land on my birthday. So, there you go.
When's your birthday?
23rd of July. So,
Oh, okay. That's good.
yeah. Still ways away. No one has to care. I do have the same birthday as Daniel Radcliffe, I think. Yeah, it's Dan Radcliffe.
But I do care about your birthday.
What? Oh, you flatterer.
You're lucky I share the same birthday as RuPaul.
Of course. Wow.
Yeah, it's ironic. I know.
It's terribly on brand for you. Okay, I need a place to put my conspiracy chart. Yeah, I'll put that there. Next time we take a break. Okay. So I want like a quick I just want a quick snapshot of what do you do, like what's your day to day, so to speak, and then maybe I'll hard frame you all in one place because I just want to see how y'all interact with each other. Oh yes, rover party. If you scroll all the way to the right in the character keeper, in the players, there should be a link there along with where your team is. Cool. Yeah, so I do want a quick snapshot of what people do in day to day, and then I want to put you all in the same room so we can play off each other for a bit. I do have some specific like scenes I want to get with some people, but yeah, I want to see what your characters look like out and about. Let's go over the character keeper, Mr. Blonde. What's like the panel we see of you, or a few panels?
I think you see me working at Aegis headquarters in Prospect City. It's doing paperwork. It's all the boring stuff, interspersed with practice in the training room. And then I think on a day, or every couple of days, I spend an afternoon with Serenade of Thorns. And that's about just checking in. I've been given Serenade as my project while I'm here. Establish relationships, so we might well go out for coffee together because Cherry seems to enjoy going for coffee, and we talk about stuff. How's things going, and mostly it's a one-sided conversation. I have a suspicion, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, well,
Probably is.
Oh, go on.
Yes, you are my handler, and I will readily agree with you, and I will readily answer any kind of question you put to me. But of course, what could I tell you about myself that is not in the file that Aegis has put together?
Yeah, and whenever I ask questions about how you feeling, how do you are you enjoying Aegis? What kind of answer do I get back?
The one Serenade of Thorns thinks you might want to hear.
Which presumably is, oh, it's fine, I'm great, everything's going really well, ... Yeah?
Yes, maybe at one point, if we get a little closer, Serenade of Thorns will ask you, how am I supposed to feel about this?
Well, let's save that conversation up, shall we?
Yes, let's.
God, it's gonna be a hard conversation. Yeah, so let's say that's the first page of this comic book is you're going to your day to day, and maybe there's a panel of a conversation with Serenade, and then we turn the page. Oh, go on.
Just what the last panel is Jamie, because he's a superficial dick, really, filling in a form that says Serenade date, condition, status, fine, signature, move on.
God. Oh, Jamie. All right. So we turned the page, and it's well, what do we see of Melkor or Varga?
I think this is like one of those 2-page splash pages, and like it starts with Melkor waking up, like checking in on his grandma, like setting out her clothing for her, getting his younger siblings breakfast done. His mom and dad are at work already because they work like double shifts. Like while he also has his barista job. Then like him going to school, which is like the smallest piece of this panel because school's boring. Then him at his job, probably with like the other characters, like sometimes in the background, like maybe it is Jamie and Serenade like having coffee at the Starbucks, and Melkor like just sort of like eyeing them, like just side eyes, like mm-hmm. And I was overhearing this conversation, like, you're not even asking the right questions. And then, like, at the very end, it's like him probably abusing his powers, like walking to this gay bar where Mr. Rake is performing that night, and just like in an alley, Varga, and starts walking in, like, and he's like about to like leave the alley when like this Aegis alarm beeps. It's like, sigh, shift back to Melkor, catches an Uber, drives off.
Nice. I do want to say, like, Jamie's is also a 2-page spread. I don't want to be the hierarchy. I think the comic book opens with like just a shots of Prospect City, and you turn the page. There's Jamie's spread, and you turn the page, there's Varga's spread, and we turn the page, and the character who's been added to the series so that regular fans would get interested in these new characters, this returning character. What do we see of Loki?
Well, the first panel we see isn't actually of Loki. It's of it's a close-up of a file that is brought up in a holographic display. It's 2 pictures. A silver troll-looking sort of guy with enormous maw full of vast teeth, and beside that, an Uncanny Valley-esque. Actually, not the Uncanny Valley-esque, because this would be your actual picture. But it's a picture of a seemingly normal boy in British school clothes. And then the next panel, I think, comes out from that, and it's Loki is looking at this report at his desk in his laboratory at Aegis headquarters, and is looking very pensive. And he just I don't think he says anything, but he's having a moment of like reflection on this person that he knew and what they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before we kind of get to that, I actually wanted for Varga to roll their obligations during their description. So yeah, roll plus one thing. Yes.
I got a 10.
All right. Oh, you're fine. Yeah. You have an opportunity to advantage thanks to one of your obligations. We'll get to that. I guess. Yeah. Later. There we go. Bread. Okay. I'm gonna ignore the chat there. So yeah. So we see Loki contemplating his friend, which the new readers be like, well, who's this? Oh, maybe we should check out their adventures. But turn the page and we get Serenade's splash. What do we see Serenade's day to day?
Well, I think we start off with the Serenade of Thorns sitting with Jamie Blonde. And what you might notice in this panel is the musical notes playing next to their head. And further in the future, you will always see these musical notes playing around his head. Sometimes they will get like louder or faster, like when they fight, but they're always kind of there. And after this, really, it's a really small picture in the upper left corner, and then we see just the Serenade of Thorns feet going down to a room. And when they go into the room, you can see it's really Spartan. There's a bed, there is a standard issue default table, and things like that. The one thing that pops out though is the kind of it's an MP3 player that is on the table, and when Serenade of Thorns goes in there, they start fiddling around with that thing, and then they turn on music, and there are like musical boxes in their room, like lots of them, and another music starts playing, and those notes are louder than the notes that always accompany the head, and he looks like a bit relieved, I guess. Yeah, Cell might also, the connotations might be there, but Serenade of Thorns can open that room from the inside, so it's not a cell right now, at least.
All right.
It looks very sturdy.
Still, it's a bit sad. All right, so we got a good idea now of what are heroes and what they're at. I kind of want to frame you in. Well, first off, there's something I should have asked. It's of Loki. You picked an advance that gave you a sanctuary. Can you tell me what the sanctuary is like?
Yeah. So he had. It's actually his. It's where he originally created Eris, basically. It was his old like den that he had in a sort of secret basement area of a rundown arcade.
That is sad. What are what is his features and his downsides?
So its features, I've only got 2 of the features nailed down for it at the moment. So those are powerful. It has a powerful computer, and it has useful tools for him to build stuff with. Downsides are it's difficult to access because like it's an abandoned building. It's boarded up, and there's if there's anything obviously any obvious signs of activity there would draw the attention of the authorities. So there's that, and it's intricately tied to my shame, not my doom. Hopefully not my doom, because that's where Kevin first created Eris.
Okay. So I was actually wondering then, if it's tied to your shame, do you bring anyone to that place, or is it just your secret sanctuary?
I think it's been my secret sanctuary. I think it hasn't actually been used for a while. Like since Kevin started working for Aegis, he's spent most of his time working in the laboratory space that they provide him there, and he hasn't touched that space for a while because that's where he created his shame, and he didn't want to go back there.
Yeah, I was just wondering because it's I do want to give you all the chance to have like a hideout of sorts, so you can plot your whatever you're doing against the suits. And I was wondering if that sanctuary would you let people like this team there?
Like, I think that this story arc is probably going to be the first time Loki returns to that, and he might use that as like a hideout for the group.
All right. Why don't we kind of like start there? Because again, I want you kind of all in the same place. Maybe like you're here piecing together what you found out from the Duchess's diaries, which I will actually add a little detail to that. Yes, there's a mention of a creepy interdimensional creature of humanoid proportions talking to something called a howler. That's kind of like the main detail y'all have, and whatever that union is between the creature and the howler is how they're getting into Aegis. It's kind of what the Duchess Diaries kind of like inferred. But yeah, if it's okay with you, Loki, I'd like to like set you all in this sanctuary. Okay, cool. So yeah, in this like poor disused basement. Actually, I'll ask each of y'all like, what are y'all like doing, or what's the when we turn the page and see like again big splash and probably takes an entire page shot of y'all in the sanctuary. What's kind of like your, let's say, dynamic superhero pose, but kind of like what did they see in the illustration? Start with you again, Jamie.
I think Jamie's looking around with his face is screwed up. He's looking around as if to say, "What a dump! I gave up Cambridge for this."
He's going to be a delightful prick to discover. Yeah, we see that.
The starting point for our arc.
I love that. Yeah, I love that's probably like the speech bubble. See? About Varga, and assuming you're coming as Varga.
Yes, I. This is a. Are there still arcade games down here?
Loki.
There are arcade games on like the main area. The way I was picturing it is kind of like I've only seen from clips of this, but there's like a bit in Tron Legacy apparently where the main character pulls aside a arcade machine and there's a secret room behind it, and that's the same kind of idea.
I think like we see Varga sort of like she's brought in one of the arcade machines into the sanctuary, and it's Mrs. Pac-Man for like extra, because Mrs. Pac-Man is just Pac-Man with a bow, and she's plugged it in, and she's playing it way too like enthusiastically for someone. It's like, I think her thought bubble is like, why are cherries the lowest point fruit? They're delicious.
Yes, let's bring back thought bubbles. Let's step away from Watchmen. Let's do that. Yeah. I'll actually go to you, Loki, last. Serenade, how are you in this space?
I have followed Jamie in, and I will try not to touch anything, and I will try not to stare too offensively at anything. And the speech bubble besides my head, that's just notes, musical notes. I'm kind of in standby mode.
Someone roll a lot of comfort and support their way, quick. And finally, Loki, what do we see of you?
So I think it's a few panels worth of like just Loki moving through the space, his old workspace, clearing aside, clearing off the dust from one of the devices that's there, and it's like a very sort of round, almost like cutesy robot, drone sort of thing, which has been powered down. And him picking it up and looking at it sort of wistfully and putting it back down. And then just, powering up all the systems in the room for the first time in a while.
All right. So, yeah, I'll give you a moment to talk amongst yourselves. If you want to have anything to say to anyone, Varga's over there just playing Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man.
I've got something I want to say to Serenade, which is, look, Sherry, why don't you go and try that computer game with Varga? You'll enjoy it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
What is the point of this computer game?
Well, it's things that young people do, and you can have a chat with Varga, perhaps.
Yes, I would enjoy that.
Now, when I invoke my authority over civilians, Halcyon city personnel, or Aegis staff, would that apply in this circumstance?
I don't think so, because you're just talking to a friend and just trying them to do something. I don't think you're using your authority as an Aegis operative.
Actually, I am.
Oh, God.
I'm using my authority as a handler because
Okay.
I feel obliged to get this person to kind of loosen up, and I've spent weeks in a frigging coffee shop getting nowhere. So now I'm going to start, come on, start being a bit more human, kid.
Okay, robot soldier, go ahead.
That's 10. So on a hit, your words carry weight. I was interested in the miss, actually. On 7-9,
Yeah.
someone will push back against your instructions, or on a miss, your attempts to control the situation create an opportunity for your enemies with an Aegis. But yeah, so be it.
Yeah, it makes sense for this anyway, since Serenade is deferential to you anyway. So, Serenade, you've been ordered to fraternize.
I will go over and say, I will try not to break Varga's concentration, because this looks like this is a game that, or an endeavor that needs concentration. So at one point, when she seems to be a little more receptible, I will tell her, good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Good afternoon, Varga. May I join you in this game? I have no idea how to play it.
And Varga stops and it's looks over. It's like, you got to make sure those damn ghosts don't get you. But it doesn't run on quarters. And she pulls the opening out, flicks the little indicator where you'd put in quarters in the arcade machine, sets up the highest amount of credits you can get. It's like, if you're new to this, be careful. I was new to it today, and I've gotten the high score. It's amazing.
That sounds like it is not a great challenge for you.
Well, I don't play video games for a challenge. This isn't Dark Souls, which, I mean, the graphics in Dark Souls are beautiful.
I agree.
So when you say that you get the high score, I think just off to the side of the panel we see Kevin gone chalk white, and you're in that anime style where he's like.
And I think Varga is I want to comfort and support Serenade by being beside it's yeah, you're doing it, you're amazing, oh, this is so cool. And, even if she's just running into ghosts and not eating the pellets right.
I know, actually, Serenade of Thorns is very good at following instructions, and this is not a complicated game at all. If you can sense with your cybernetic implants, if you can sense the electronics and how they work and where they go, that's probably not that hard.
I think Varga's getting really excited. You just beat my high score. This is so amazing. Oh wow! And, just pat Serenade on the back, try not to break her concentration. You're so cool.
Yeah, when you touch Serenade, they will just jump back and assume a fighting position, just like an instinct, oh, and then looks back to the machine. I got eaten by a ghost.
Ooh, I got a 7 on comfort and support.
All right, so Serenade, you can either, let me scroll, come on. On a hit, you hear them, so you can either mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if you open up to them.
I don't know that I want to shift labels right now. No, nothing comes to mind. I'll just mark potential, because I have actually played not badly, which is potentially useful.
I think
if we have to fight electronic ghosts.
And I think the opening up is just Varga saying, You can trust me. I'm not going to hurt you.
I am sorry. My reflexes are too fast.
No, don't worry. I come and she starts like her elaborate backstory, which I think changes every time she tells like where Varga came from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I was a warrior princess. I know about being on guard.
Nice.
Corner of that last panel, Jamie taking notes.
Loki, unless you want to talk to someone, you will get a call. But if you want to talk to someone before you get that call.
I think, I'll just take the call,
I think you can tell it's like Aegis has a dummy line from whenever they contact you, so you never know who's contacting you. And when it connects, you just hear like the switchboard operator going. This is an Aegis direct line to Kevin Ryback from Agent Marcus Hyde of Howl Division.
Okay, connect me, sure.
All right, so a bit more like jazzy lounge music. We're waiting. Meanwhile, probably Serenade is clearing all your high scores. And what's the initial Serenade puts in? This is some stupid stuff, but I want to know what initial Serenade puts in for their high score.
Well, they try to put in Serenade of Thorns, which probably doesn't work because it's so long, right?
Yeah, maybe the first you're just sir, and then the next you're like and then you start clearing them as you get more high scores.
I think yes, SOT would probably be a good abbreviation. I think I'll just ask Varga what I am supposed to put in there. It will not take my complete name.
Oh, well, this is when you put in like the curse words that you can get away with, like ass.
I
will try to put in ass.
Poor Kev.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kev, the phone call finally connects. Yeah, you've heard his voice. That you've met this guy before. He popped up very briefly at the end of Agents of Aegis. And it should go like, Kevin. I hope I'm not interrupting anything important.
No, I got nothing on right now. What seems to be the trouble?
Oh, there's no trouble at all, Kevin. I was just curious, as you weren't here in your office at Aegis headquarters, and normally around this time you'd be still there working on stuff or on projects with Agent Corellios. I was concerned.
Nothing to be concerned about. Just need to take some time to process some things.
I know, yes. After all, the news of Mr. Manners was quite recent, and I understand there needs to be processing for that. That's actually why I was coming around to contact you. As you know, Mr. Manners had a handler in Aegis. I don't know if the two of you have met, but she is organizing a memorial service for him later this weekend. And I was unsure if you'd be interested in going until you access my report. And, well, that pretty much cleared it up for me.
Oh, yeah, of course I'll go. Yeah.
You did Michael a great service saving him. And I would like to think he'd appreciate if you came down and paid your last respects.
Yeah, I want to pay my respects. Yeah, I'll be there.
Fantastic. Now, with regards to your continued relationship with Aegis, as a matter of fact, thanks to renewed conflict and interest in the outer spaces, we might actually have some missions for yourself and some of the agents that are not connected to you down here at Howl Division. Are you briefed up with what we do over here?
Vaguely.
But let me rectify that. Aegis's Howl Division is the first line of defense when regards to interdimensional outer space or extra-dimensional forces. We were established in 1973, and we have been at the forefront of making sure that the world is safe from threats from other dimensions. Now, I know your field is in robotics, Mr. Ryback, but and minds such as yours would certainly be interested in exploring outer worlds out there, would it?
I need to give it some thought.
Well, the offer will stand. I hope to have your mind made up by the time of Mr. Mander's memorial, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
I think, well, as you say, sure, he just says like very well, and he just hangs up. So now's your chance to talk to people. Oh, go on. Sorry, Celine.
As I hear that noise, I will turn to Loki and say, "Is there something we can help you with? You seem distraught."
Oh, just I'm just deciding. I'm just trying. I'm just at the moment kind of trying to decide where I want to go with the rest of my life.
That is an important decision.
Does anybody else know anything about the Howlers?
Did that name not come up in one of the diaries we have received from the Duchess?
Yeah, I think it did.
And if I may ask for like the information or like the tidbit from like my good obligations role, maybe I've been hanging out with Mandy and talking about the Howlers, Leandro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead. I think what you get from that is Howlers is definitely a nickname that she found. I think she picked that up from an interdimensional traveling super team called the Extranauts or something like that, and the people that they met, they kind of meet in multiple dimensions, and whenever they come to this one, the Duchess one, they always kind of have to go through like some legal red tape or whatever, and it's always Aegis agents, and they came from a place called they're part of Aegis that came from, it's called Howl Division, and they nicknamed them into Howlers whenever they pop by.
Oh, and I think Varga just sort of like drops this information to everyone that she's been picking up by bringing not like tea and donuts and crumpets over to the Duchesses, even though it's hard to get good crumpets in this goddamn city.
I will recommend a Starbucks that I know that has fairly reasonable crumpets.
I have a horrible feeling they're not real crumpets, though. They'll be American crumpets, won't they?
Varga will like sort of motion over to 001. He gets it. I mean, American crumpets are just like sugar and bread.
I thought that was the point of crumpets.
Not just sugar.
I like to imagine Loki's in the corner, they're just freaking out about the fact that they're talking about crumpets.
Actually, I've just realised I have a move. When you ask Aegis for additional resources, equipment, or information during a mission, I think I'm going to ring a friend in Aegis and see what I can find out officially about Howlers or Howl Division. Is that
Okay.
doable?
Yeah, sure. Roll plus soldier.
So 2d6 plus 2 is 11. On
Okay.
10 plus, the resources are highly classified and experimental. Take +1 ongoing to deploy them throughout the mission.
Okay. Okay.
What bit
So
of
who you ringing?
secret stuff do I get?
Well, first, who are you ringing? Who's your friend?
Oh, this has to be Agent Femero, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. Let's bring in Agent Femero. Sure, why not?
She helped me out.
Yeah. So, to reminder, what I have noted down for Agent Femero is Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine helps out superpowered youth, extremely tired, but always tries. And yeah, I think so. Yeah, you give her a ring. What do you like? What's like? Let's do this conversation anyway. What are you asking her?
Hi there, Agent Femero. It's Jamie here. Look, this is probably nothing, but I've heard something about something called Howl Division. I was just curious what it was.
Jamie, I don't know what you're up to, but Howl Division is not nothing. Unless, I don't know. Unless you're just, what are you? I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to ask. But...
Well, you know, my brief here is to establish, good links. And so I just saw it mentioned in a kind of a scribbled note on a report that I was just, reading for background. And so, I'm here to ask questions. I'm here to learn.
Well, all right, okay. Well, if you must know, Howl Division has been around since 1973. What do you even want to know? I'll give you the brief. They're Aegis's division for protecting not just Earth, but this dimension from other dimensional threats, and they're very good at it. Used to be before the 70s, you would get parallel universes overlapping ours, dimension eating monsters coming in. But ever since they got established, they've been very good at keeping dimensional walls safe, so to speak, especially around here on Earth. And their agents are very well trained to the point that, honestly, if there's any division you wouldn't want to thread toes on, Jamie, it would be Howl, because they have a lot of autonomy and they can boss people around. In fact, I'm actually, all right, since you're liaised with us, actually, I'm in the middle of a mission for them right now. It's normally not my purview, but, well, like I said, lots of autonomy.
So what do I need to know?
But what do you want to know? Why are you so interested?
Well, look, as I say, I'm here to learn. It's not something I'm familiar with. It wasn't in the briefing pack, so I just wondered, why it wasn't in the briefing pack.
Well, do you not over there in London? Do you not have folks who takes care of dimensional threats? And look, there's a lot that can be said about Howl Division, and frankly, I'm not even meant to be working for them, and they managed to push a mission on me. That tells you how much power they have.
Wow. So gosh. So what have they got you doing?
Well, to be honest, it's nothing that flashy. I just have to look after this tuning artifact of theirs. Apparently, they're using it to tune to a certain dimension, and I just have to look after it. They say it's no big deal, but it should be. And then her line cuts off.
Okay. Right. Now, look, it says +1 ongoing to deploy this information throughout the mission. Now, that seems like quite a powerful outcome.
It is. It is.
Are you content with it being that powerful? Or
Hmm?
would you prefer if I did this on a kind of sessional basis? Because it just seems like a big plus.
Oh yes, yeah, no, yeah. This will be on a sessional basis. I'm not letting you have this for
Right.
4 weeks.
Fine. That's fine. I'll bear that in mind. Okay. So I, share with the group that Howell seems to be the creme de la creme, and I'll translate that obviously for my American cousins, and they're able to co-opt anybody, it seems. And I think what's going through Jamie's mind is this would look really good on my CV. So how can I engineer riding on the back of whatever Robert's been told to get involved with Howell?
Like you want to get in with Howell? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. So what are we going to do, Kev?
So, how much of what that conversation did you share?
Oh,
with me?
all of it. Because the best way to get you to do what I want to do is to appear to be absolutely straightforward with you.
All right. So as soon as you mentioned the tuning thing, Kevin is trying. It goes to his screen and is trying to track down Agent Famero's cell phone to see where the hell she is, because I know what that is, and they shouldn't be messing around with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what that is. You saved that for Aegis a couple of issues ago. This sounds like
when you trace the call, do you cut it off? Was it you who cut off the connection?
No, the connection just cut off. I don't think it was Kev. All right, so I think you're gonna have to unleash some powers. I don't think you can just track down Agent Famero's cell phone unless you have a move for this. No, I don't think you have a move. So yeah, you're gonna have to unleash your technological powers to track down Agent Famero. So roll plus freak. Oh, freak.
It's a 5.
Well, mark potential. Okay, so you're trying to track down her phone, and you get a number, and your system just starts calling the number. And it picks up, and you just hear this like very tired voice going, "This is Melissa and Enid's place. What the hell is this?"
Hello?
You're looking for Melissa, aren't you? Oh, fucking hell. Well, she's not here.
Is that Agent Famero's first name? Yeah.
Yeah, Melissa's her first name.
Yeah. I thought her first name was Agent, but okay. Yeah. Do you know where she is? No, not at all.
Not. She does. Are you who? How do you know her?
I'm a friend from work.
You and your ridiculous friends from work. I'll point out, actually, Varga, you recognize this. This is a co-worker of yours in the barista. Her name is Enid.
Ooh. And Varga will mark that down, but probably won't say anything about it because Varga does not work at Starbucks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Malcor does. And yeah. Enid's a particularly lazy one. You've covered too many of her shifts. You don't know why she's still employed in this place. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think she's like, and it's like, another. I God. All right. I think the complication here is she's taking her time because she's like, you another work friend for Melissa. Like, why is it whenever you can't fucking find her, he always has to come to me?
And another work friend who else has been in touch with you lately?
Who has? It's been a lot. Some guy named Hyde. I don't know. Look, I have a vague idea of where Melissa might be, and what are you even looking for her? Tell me that. Why are you looking for her? Because I'm tired of picking up for her phone calls when she should be.
Because I think she's in trouble, and I really need to get in touch with her.
Sorry, I saw you on mute there, Ferret.
Varga was going to go over and listen, like sort of tap Kev on the shoulder. It's like, may I?
Okay.
And like, Enid, 3 shifts covered, no questions asked. You get paid if you give us the information and quit whinging.
Four.
Okay.
All right, so put Mr. Heroic back on.
Vargo will just like inside Melkor is just screaming.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, yeah, Melissa's friend or whatever. She said she'd be down at Shoreline. There's this like, look, I'll tell you now, Mr. Heroic, I know what Melissa does for work, and given you saying you're a work friend, I know what you do as well. So I'm not gonna like pry, but down at Shoreline, there's a. She said she's gonna be at the Poseidon's Adventure, some sort of restaurant or something. Is that all you need?
Good. Thanks. Hang up. You know where that is? Poseidon's Venture? Google.
And I think like Varga was just like heading out because she knows where it is. Because like Melkor knows the city pretty well. And I think Varga is enough of sort of the team leader type that she'll just like onward to victory. Kind of, like not like say those exact words, but like guys, come on, follow me.
Nice. I just want to. Okay. All right. We're nearing the top of another hour, but I do want to like get like other people's just like a quick see. I just want to see what Serenade's doing. Honestly, I always want to see what Serenade's doing during all this.
Watching, listening, standing to attention, and waiting for somebody to tell them what to do, where to go, and if they should hit somebody.
Not even a reaction to hearing that your superior, Agent Romero, might be in trouble.
If she is, we will, of course, I suppose we will rescue her. But right now I have my primary handler here, and there is a hierarchy. I can't just run off half-cocked. That's not a good idea. And the Serenade doesn't like her anyway.
Oh, there's lots of love. Okay, all right, okay. All right. So we'll take another break. Let's say 5. Let's take 5. No, 6. Just so we get 21:55 or 55 to the hour. So 6 minutes. So BRB. Yeah, apologies. I've kind of conceived this whole suits thing as kind of like a finale to Prospect C, so I'm just gonna keep bringing in NPCs from previous games. Oh, don't worry. Like in 2 or 3 months' time, I'll be making references to your character that other people won't get. So you won't know about it, but well, you'll know it's gonna happen because I'm gonna do it. And they'll be like, "Oh man, so yeah, there's other meteorite that I don't know that." Yeah, or will yeah, you'll probably will be there probably. Yeah, but it's a bad thing.
There's only 48 hours worth of video to catch up on after all.
Damn it. Oh, I just realized I mistimed this. Oh well, we'll get through this fairly quickly. I forgot I started this at 7:30, so we will only have 30 minutes. We'll see how this goes. So actually, yeah, this will be fairly quick. Let me delete the thing. All right, cool. Welcome back. So I just realized I've mistimed this, and we only have like 30 minutes. So what we're gonna do is, well, we could cliffhanger you. Yeah, we could. We'll see. We'll see how you do. How you all do. With what's to come. I need to find my other notes. Oh yeah, shit. That's another. So, okay. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna say afternoon splitting into night, and you've all I will figure out how you get around the city, whatever transport you folks have. But
We have a car.
ooh, you have a car. Like, go on.
I want to say shotgun. I believe that means I know what that means, and I like the idea of saying that. Weirdly.
Nice. And so like yeah, Serenade shotgun. Varga's probably squeezed in there. Can you fly?
If you'll allow it, yeah.
Actually no. Yeah.
It doesn't say so. It's not a power I
Yeah.
could take.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Though I'm fine taking that instead of impossible reflex or impossible mobility. Or that could be the impossible mobility that I can.
yeah. You know, no, I want to keep you voguing, so
Yeah.
we'll just not let you fly. We'll just
I
keep
like
you
I like the idea that Varga is like having to stand up and like balance herself like on like a out of a sunroof because she is statuesque.
Jesus Christ, of course. Of course. Well, does Jamie's car even have a sunroof? Well, they must have a sunroof. No, it has to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the shenanigans is happening, and probably Loki's the only one trying to keep it real.
Loki is fiddling with a sort of very PK meter sort of looking device, which is the D3 system that he came up with.
Nice. Okay, so you drive down to Shoreline, which, as mentioned, is literally on the shore. It's like a neighborhood in Prospect City. That's next to the coast. It's gone through some bad times. There was a bit in December where some gang warfare was happening. Fortunately, some heroes put paid to that, so it's all relatively safe. Although the Poseidon's Adventure restaurant was destroyed. It's derelict now, and when you kind of come across it, when you kind of drive up towards it, and it's like it's facing the road that's facing the coast, and you can see that it's surrounded by a bunch of Poseidon's Adventure restaurant. I know it has a different name. I know Jim gave it a different name, but I've forgotten what it is. So you come across it and you see that, well, it's surrounded. There's at least 4 black vans surrounding the front of the Poseidon's Adventure restaurant, and you can see that the side doors are open, and it's so unsubtle. They are just shooting out lasers at the restaurant and trying to like pulverize it, and you can kind of hear in the middle of the laser gunfire from these 4 black vans a kind of like just a small pistol shot coming from the restaurant. And I think this is time to engage some team mechanics, if you're all okay with that. Since you're about to enter battle with a foe of some sort of dangerous ability. When you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool. So to remind you folks, the team pool is all the way to the right. Oh, you're now up to 3. And who's the leader?
Jamie will, of course, step up.
It's either Jamie or Varga.
Because on the way over, Jamie will have been just reinforcing Aegis standard operating practice. When we get on site, we check out what goes on. No rushing in. It's all about, let's see what we can see.
And Serenade was probably just nod to all that. Oh, go on, Varga.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm fine Jamie being the leader.
Okay. Okay, Jamie's the leader then. Okay. If the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team. Do you?
I do not.
Okay. Well, okay. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. Does everyone have the same purpose?
Yes, because they'll do what I tell them.
Varga and Serenade probably agree to that, but Loki?
Stop these guys in the black vans from whatever they're doing, because I'm pretty sure that's bad news.
Is that okay? I'm gonna say yes. All right, I'm just gonna assume yes. So yeah, you're up to 4 now. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, please, I'll remove a team. Does anyone mistrust Jamie?
I mistrust everyone.
Therefore, you trust everyone. Okay, it balances out. All right. Okay.
I might mistrust Jamie slightly less than the rest, but no, I do not actually trust. Trust is a weird concept.
Because of where Kevin's at right now, he distrusts anyone in a position of relative authority to him.
Okay, so I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to remove a team. The leader can take on a condition to stop this.
Yes, I think I will take on. I think I'll take on Insecure.
All right, so you're still up to 14. And then the last one is your team ill-prepared or off balance? You spend some time getting on this car ride. You know you're up against something bad. So you're probably fine. All right, so 14. Okay, so when you kind of drive up to this place, you're obviously not going to, well, I don't know, you're not going to smash this car at the vans or...
Absolutely not. We will pull in around a corner and observe before we do anything.
Smart. It's very smart of you.
Standard operating procedure.
As in, are you assessing the situation?
Well, no, it's before we get. I have a move called "Before we get started." When you have time to closely observe your opposition before a fight. ...
All right, roll that. What do you roll it with? Let me scroll.
I roll with Savior.
All right.
Which is for me as a player, interestingly, not somewhere I go normally.
You've gotten used to being freakish and dangerous. So.
Here we go. Oh dear, that's 6-7.
Oh, there's a 7.
On a 7, hole 2.
Yeah.
During the fight, you can spend your whole to name a character you observed and redirect their attacks, cross a distance, blah blah blah.
Okay, I'll say right now, what you're observing is what in the prep for other playset calls a gang. I don't think you see any character in controller, but what you do see is like when you can see what's inside the vans, and it's not really just guns. It's what looks like people, but their heads have split open to reveal guns, like laser guns, robotically. I say they have split open. You can tell they're machines, and they are just kind of like monotonously firing. Yeah, they're like all taunts, except instead of the hands, it's the mouth. So that's what you see, and that's kind of like you see this gang. And to Kevin, these people are familiar. It's like the robot goons of the restitution are here. Okay, so you're still in this corner. You basically, Jamie, you've just observed them.
So what I'm suggesting, folks, is did we say that Varga can fly?
I cannot fly, but I can absorb energy.
Okay, so you would be well placed to draw their fire if the worst came to the worst.
Mm-hmm. And I cannot fly, but I can jump really well and move very weirdly.
Because we need someone to get into this place from the back and help get whoever's in there out while we distract them at the front.
Mm-hmm. And Varga just, I've got you. And just begins I think she we're between two buildings. She begins jump, parkouring up the buildings, gets to the top, takes this leaping dive, almost swan dives, and lands in front of the building, the superhero pose, and just opens herself up, and it's fire all you will not take down Varga rocks. And I want to defend the person in the building.
Go ahead.
Or my team or whatever. So rolling with Savior.
Go ahead.
Oops.
I will turn to Jamie and say, these are the enemy. Shall I take them out?
Not yet, Serenade. First option, get the innocents out.
I got a 6 unless anyone wants to spin team.
I think that probably Loki, do you still have that suit I read about?
Yeah. I still have my exo armor.
Can you get into that building and get whoever it is out while I help Serenade and Varga take this van out or create a barrier to the fire? Because I'd like to help Varga.
Sure thing, Chief.
Right. Well, then I think probably what I will do is I will want to help and say to Serenade, come on, time to move, and move to drop the sunglasses. And I can spend my holds to stun them close up or from a distance. You said there were several vans, didn't you?
There are 4 specifically, but you will also have to spend a team to help out Varga specifically. So
yeah, I get that. I suppose narratively, what I'm doing is just blowing one of those vans away with the energy eyes.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's enough to spend a team. Add an extra distraction. So yeah, you'll get a 7 now, Varga.
Sweet. And I think I think this escalates the situation because they realize Varga absorbs these lasers perfectly. It's the water off a duck's back. And I'm choosing to escalate the situation, but add one more. I think the best choice is to add one more. No, I'm going to take influence over the person in the building, which I think is Agent Melissa, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Oh, it's definitely Agent Fumero.
Yeah.
Having influence over an adult, that's always good. Yeah, so you want to escalate the situation. Okay. So what's going to happen is So you absorb those lasers, and you probably stand tall. Varga rocks, so to speak. Um, they stop firing as soon as they realize you're kind of absorbing it, and the robots step out of the van. I think two each from each van. They look like they dress like ordinary people. Like there's one dressed as a barista, there's one dressed as a dock worker. It's just random ordinary people, and you hear like this wheezing, screeching electronic voice just say, "Then Varga rocks will fall to the restitution." And yeah, so the two of the vans start transforming. They start reconfiguring until they stand to be like maybe like a bit 4 feet higher than you. They look like humanoid, kind of like they look like humanoid like bikers with like these big like oblong heads and just like dark leatherly, well, it's metal bodies. They're kind of like, okay, maybe not 4 feet, 2 feet taller than you, and they're kind of like the robots, the ones with the laser guns, kind of turn their attention away from you towards Jamie and Serenade, because you shot off with your laser eyes, while um the two vans just do their thing and just punch their fists and square up towards you.
Is it obvious that none of these are real people?
Oh, it's very obvious because, well, for one thing, laser guns. I think just from their heads. I think from down below they look fairly normal. Okay,
I
so
think it's time for Jamie to unleash the Serenade of Thorns, because I want to see Serenade do her stuff before we break. Neutralize the enemy, Serenade.
Okay. Okay, I go and neutralize the enemies. You may probably want to know what that looks like, right? And
yeah, please.
Okay, so I have the cybernetic implant, which is the Serenade, which tells me energy structures, and these are robots. They are filled with energy, so I'm probably not that bad to figuring out where their weak spot is and just taking it out. I have also impossible fighting skills, which means that I can just run up one of these large robots, grab the thing that makes them tick, and take it out with an economic motion.
Nice. So it sounds like you're directly engaging.
I'm totally engaging.
Nice. Robust danger. Good luck.
Okay, I have a 9.
Nice. All right. So, anyone want to spend the team to bring it up to a 10?
I do.
All right.
I think Varga has absorbed a lot of energy, and like she bends down, places her hand on the ground, and unleashes it. Like there's this huge eruption like comes up behind the robots that are like trying to run from Serenade now, or the ones that didn't fall to her fighting prowess.
Nice. All right. So that brings you up to a 10.
Means I get to choose 2 things from the list.
Yes.
I think if I take out their energy thingy, battery kind of stuff, would that count as take something out from them?
Yes.
Cool.
Don't worry. There's a lot of robots here, so don't worry.
Yeah, okay. I'm taking this out, and also I think I will, at this point, I'm taking out one of the big robots, right? I will just resist their blows, because that's more economic than just impressing them.
Nice.
If they're not impressed, that's not my problem.
All right. So, yeah, you jump up. You totally take out this one robot, and the other one just kind of like swings. But I think that's when, yeah, Varga, you pull out your energy blast, and they kind of stumble, and so they totally miss hitting you. But you can hear the robots kind of screeching, "The Serenade of Thorns! The Serenade of Thorns! Capture the Serenade of Thorns!" As things kind of get in disarray for these poor robots. Let's cut to Loki, who, what are you up to?
So I'm trying to stealth my way into the building to see if I can locate Agent Femero and help her out?
She's not that hard to find. I think when you kind of go to the restaurant, it's quite derelict, and then you end up in the main spot where you see like you'll notice that the front kind of roof is kind of caved in, and there's scorch marks everywhere. But they're old scorch marks, so it's weird for this restaurant to have that. And you'll see you'll find Agent from she's behind kind of like a bunch of upturned tables. And when you kind of creep up to her, she kind of just points a gun, and she says, "Oh, Loki, oh my God, I didn't expect to see you."
What's up, Agent Famero?
Well, everything's kind of up, I guess. It's you can tell, been a lot happening. Glad you and your friends came along. Is that why Sulit was contacting me?
So it was contacting you for his own reasons, I believe. But yeah. While I'm talking to her, but I'm also looking around for the object of badness that I know she was discussing.
There's like a metal briefcase next to her.
So we gotta get you out of here, and the package, I believe.
Well, I'm fine with the former, but the package stays with me. It's my mission to protect it at any cost.
I'm fine with We're on the same page. Protecting that, yes.
All right. I think she kind of like takes a briefcase and is like, "Were you?" And she kind of says, "Are you the backup? Actually, are you officially the backup? Because I've been trying to contact Al for backup for ever since the attack started. There hasn't been anyone.
I'm the only backup you got. Plus they got 3 friends outside.
Yeah, and that's what I hear. Yeah, the boom, fight. And it's just like, wait, so how did you know I was here?
I mean, let's just say I've been keeping. I've been keeping aware of objects that mess with dimensions.
I think as you're kind of moving through the buildings, she's just like, that's not your jurisdiction, Kevin.
Well, I found them for you, so they're kind of my responsibility.
Well, yes, you did find this particular tuning knife, but as far as we're concerned, as you're kind of moving out again, as far as we're concerned, that's HOWL Division's jurisdiction. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we'll call this my interview. They did. Hyde did call me for, said they were interested in talking to me about.
Huh. I think as you're kind of saying that, we'll probably cut back, because I think in this panel she just it cuts to Agent from Airspace, just says, "Hyde called you, huh?" And then cut to the battle. So it's a bit of a chaotic melee, because well, I'll tell you right now, I did not stat these blokes up to be that powerful. So I think what's kind of happening is we get one of those classic shots of like everyone's doing a thing as they're fighting the robots. Yeah. What's Jamie doing? What's Sulit doing? You're muted, Alan.
I think he's using his training, and he's just zapping these guys whenever they look like they're going to get too close to somebody else.
Nice. What is Varga doing?
I think it's like one of those big robots. She's like gotten herself on top of it, and it's like twisted to like impossibly, like places her hand on its core and is just launching an energy blast through it.
Nice. And Serenade.
Well, Serenade fights these enemies. That means that whenever there is an opportunity, they will just go up to one, try to sweep them off their feet and take the energy core things from them. It's really rather economical almost. It's like Serenade is, waltzing is maybe the wrong word, but like they're dancing to a tune only they can hear, and it just puts them always in the right place where they have to go.
Nice. And I think we get like panels of y'all trading one-liners, and the robots kind of like monotony going, find the knife, find the Serenade, they're very confused because their programming is to look for important artifacts, and there's 2 of them now here. They're very confused, and there's probably like in the middle of this melee, I think the one large van does get to you, Varga. Because they're like, we were promised a fight. As they look at you with this blank oblong face.
Varga will, I think it's like picking herself up and rearranging her body as she gets off that robot that she'd taken out. And she like punches her fists together and realizes she's almost out of the energy she absorbed. And it's like, well then, only one way to do this. It looks easy in video games. Reels back and throws a punch.
Nice. All right, we'll directly engage there.
This is going to go terribly.
Ah.
Oh, I got a 7.
Well, there you go. See?
And I think I will spend a team selfishly. Because I am probably punching this thing into like the other vans where, things that are important might be. So I'm going to move my danger up 1 and my freak down.
Nice. Okay. So that gets you. It only bumps you up to a 9, isn't it?
Yeah, it only bumps me up to an 8, but I'm not trying to get a higher score.
Okay. You just want to ruin things for people. I see how it is.
Oh, exactly. And I think I'm not going to resist avoiding their blows. I'm going to create an opportunity for Loki to get Fumero out.
All right. Okay. So I think, I think when you punch it into the vans, it lets off an almighty explosion that is kind of going to catch you in the face. So it's almost like, I think Serenade and Jamie will be thrown back, but it's going to catch you in the face.
Yeah. And I'll take the roll for the powerful blow, which will probably be the highest roll I get. Yes, it's a 10.
For fuck's sake. I didn't expect that.
I know what happens. I think Varga is an alien, and I've been thinking about this throughout the game, or they come from another world, whatever Varga is. And I think that she puts on a human appearance for the comfort of other people. But the explosion rips past her. She's not thrown back, but after it fades and Jamie and the Serenade of Thorns look up, they see the face is melting. If you've seen Elastigirl from Doom Patrol, her hands are these wicked talons. Her feet look like they're literally tied to grounded themselves into the earth and are coming back up to look like feet. And she's shaking herself off she can't look human quickly enough.
Shit. So I think Jamie and Serenade will see that.
And Jamie will now assess the situation because he's not entirely convinced where the greatest threat is, because something has replaced Varga. So roll plus superior is +1.
I love how you just make these rolls just based on your character, not like
That's 8.
Okay,
On to
that's the
second,
question.
I ask 1.
Go ahead.
Well then, what here is the biggest threat? Has this transformation altered the threat assessment?
Can I just go in between the answer and the question with my action?
What's your action?
My action is when this thing explodes. Yeah, Serenade of Thorns is thrown, but they will just roll with a punch and roll into a robot and just rip off the robot's head.
Okay.
Twist and turn, and then robot's head is off. They are not very perturbed by whatever happens to Varga. She does her thing, so she is on our side. She hasn't changed that much. She hasn't attacked us, right? So
Yeah, I think your answer to the question, Jamie, isn't it's surprising isn't Varga. It's because I think that's when like Loki, you and Agent Fumero kind of show up, and she has this, and you'll notice, Jamie, she has this briefcase, and I think your superpowers. Where did you get them actually?
Say that again.
Where did you get your superpowers?
I've not been entirely clear. It appears that my tutor was involved in this.
Okay.
So I think probably I've had my powers genetically added.
Okay, all right, that clears up, because I think for those of you who don't have I think Loki's probably the only one who doesn't know this, because he's the only one here whose superpower is being smart and having a suit. But I think everyone here who has like powers, they can feel like this small keening signal coming from the briefcase, this like tuning signal. And I think as they kind of emerge, Varga, are you still alien form?
I think like she's regaining control, and she's slowly becoming more like what they are used to Varga rocks looking like.
Okay, I think I think maybe Jamie and Serenade can notice that, but they'll start hearing the thing. And yeah, Loki, your D3 would be picking up the tuning knife signal as Melissa kind of takes in all this.
What is the Serenade's reaction to that tuning sound? Does the implant react to it?
Ooh, I think the implant bristles at it, and you've had the Serenade scream at you before, but like it's never like has it. I think it rarely reacts in disgust to something, but yeah, it's bristles to the signal. I think you feel this as well, Varga. This knife. I think Agent Fumero is kind of like, well, as far as backup goes, you kids were extremely effective.
I dropped the robot head.
I think since we're at time, we'll pick up the rest of this conversation next week. 'Cause I don't want to go over, because all this stuff's going to be just like some more plot-related talk. Go ahead.
The last panel will be like the robot's head dropped, in a visor. It shows all of us looking at Agent Fumero, and one of us saying like, "Now we have to talk." Ellipsis.
Yes. Yeah, down for that being the last panel. All right, so that's it for this issue of Masks the Suits. However, we have to do end of session stuff before y'all go. Sorry, I want to do that on broadcast. We have a record. Oh, go on. Sorry, I saw you unmute there, Robert. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go by the order of the character keeper. Let's do this as quickly as possible. At the end of every session, choose one. Grow closer to the team. Grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team. So we'll start with you, Jamie. How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel closer to the team. They followed instructions. They did a good job. We are team. And I'm frankly quite surprised that Varga did what she was told, because she strikes me as a little freaky, frankly. So I think, where's that gone? Explain why you see yourself. Give influence to that character and clear a condition or mark potential. I'll mark potential Oh no, they. Sorry, do they or do I?
No, you do.
I'll mark potential and give Varga influence over me.
Which she already has, so she gets to shift your labels.
I think you did a good job ordering us. Shift your savior down and your superior up,
Nice.
which moves into me. I'm going to pick the exact same thing, but I'm going to say it's Kevin, because Kevin invited me to his sanctuary and let me rearrange it, and didn't ask any questions when I just like took the phone and did my like Melkor thing as Varga. So Kevin, you gain influence on me, and I'll mark potential.
Nice. Did Kevin already have influence over you?
Nope, don't think
No.
so.
Okay, cool. So Kevin just gets influence. Fab. All right, Kevin. What about you?
So I think Kevin grew, he didn't really interact so much with everybody else, so he probably grew into his own image of himself, which I'm thinking was like he's trying to be more of a hero. Like he doesn't feel like he's actually been very heroic, so he was trying to rectify that by, especially finding out that this object, this dangerous object that he gave to Aegis, is out there again. He's like, I know, right? But yeah, so he gave this thing to Aegis. So he's like, okay, this is my responsibility. I've got to see what's going on with this. I got to stop something bad from happening.
Nice. All right. What's your label shift?
I'm gonna shift Savior up and Danger down because he didn't actually do any fighting this time round.
Yeah, you got to talk to someone who knew you. I love that. Yeah, this whole wanting to be a hero thing has been Loki's kind of arc for this entire time we've had him. So that's cool. Chic is. Serenade. What about you? How are you feeling?
I am feeling closer to the team, and I would give that to Varga, because when we were playing Pac-Man, she was actually showing me how to play this game, and I felt like that was nice and teamy. And I don't have any condition. I also mark potential, but not on Varga, on myself.
And I already had influence over you, so I will shift you. You are getting more normal. Shift your freak down, but your danger up. You are a beast.
I am.
Yeah. Serenade kicked ass. Well, you all kicked ass. You all did really well. So thanks very much. You all have been quite, I knew you were gonna be fantastic anyway, but it needs to be kept being repeated. You all are fantastic players, and anyone who has to run a game for you should feel themselves blessed. And I feel blessed. All right, so I'm gonna stop the broadcast and get to more gushing after the broadcast is over. Tune in next issue, week, whatever, for the next installment of Masks the Suits. See you all later, YouTube.